Hello again, this is Jeff Scott of Blackhawk Technical College. Again, I'm retaping the lectures for the 152-158 Advanced Website Development or Joomla class. Today I'm going to be going over Chapter 2, which is the installation, getting Joomla up and running. As you can see, what do we need to start? Hosting space, FTP software, more than one browser, upgrading from previous versions, installing Joomla in 4 steps, downloading the Joomla files, placing them on the server, creating the database, and running the wizard. The main part of the chapter is right here because we're not using a server, so I'm not going to go over hosting space, FTP software, etc. So let me just jump up to the beginning of the chapter. As it says, if you're new to Joomla, installing a web app may seem daunting. I don't really think that it was. It wasn't too terrible, and I think I mentioned this in class, but just on the off chance that I did not, if I come in here and I Google installing Joomla under XAMPP, alright, installing 3.0 on localhost using XAMPP. And I think I saved this article, but I'm just going to basically follow what's in here because this is what I used in class. Alright, so let's get into there we go. Alright. So again, they talk about installing Joomla 3.0 on localhost. First thing they mention in here is installing XAMPP. Well, we've already got that, so that's not an issue. Alright, so all that other stuff, the stuff that's in there, we don't really need to worry about it. So, I'm just going to jump right up. Let's see. Installing XAMPP. So download it, yes. So go to the control panel, start Apache, and start MySQL. So let's do that. I don't have the virtual desktop running, so I'm just going to start it up. Got stuff running in the background too. I'm running off an long article, so if you hear any noise, that's why you're hearing it. Out-of-date Java version detected. Okay. Alright. Okay. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to start up XAMPP as we always do. Now I've got my choice here. What I can do is I start up both Apache and MySQL. Alright, I'm going to go to the MySQL admin page, so I bring up phpMyAdmin, and what you'll notice when I bring that up is I already have a database called Joomla. So I'm just going to create another one I'm going to call it Joomla 2. Alright, so databases, create database, Joomla 2. Okay, create. So I've done that. You see it's right there again. Of course, there's nothing in it yet because we haven't done anything more with it. So I just created it. Alright, so we already have XAMPP. We ran the installation. We started Apache and MySQL. We created a database. Alright, so we clicked that, did that, created the new database. They told you to call it Joomla 30. I just called it Joomla 2. It really doesn't matter that much one way or the other. So I'm just following the steps here. Alright, now you're ready to install Joomla. So download it from http://www.joomla.org/download.html. So I'm going to click on there. And in fact, what I think I'm going to do, because it'll make it easier for me, is I'm going to switch back to the local desktop and just download it from there. Alright, and I will have the newest version, so I guess I've got a newer version, 3.3.6, than even I have done earlier, so I'm just going to download that. Save it, which saves it out here since I'm running on Firefox. It should save it out here. So if I click there, there it is. And I'm going to immediately take that. I'm going to start up. I shouldn't say I'm going to startup, I'm going to go into XAMPP, htdocs, and I'm just going to drop that in here. So there's the Joomla 336 stable package. I'm going to get rid of that stable package and just leave it at Joomla 3.3.6. Okay, so that's what's in there. All right, now I'm going to jump back to the article, and the other thing I'll do is I'll grab the article here. Oops, grab that article, come on. And I'll just also go back to the virtual desktop, and because otherwise I'm just jumping back and forth between the two, which to me seems like a waste of my time and yours. So again, here is the article. We have now gone through. All right, we clicked database, so we did that. We entered the database name. We went to install Joomla, create a new folder entitled Joomla 3030 in htdocs, and unpack it, or put it in there. All right, so again, I'm going to just call it Joomla 2. It should be, as you know, the same name as the name of your database. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create a folder that's called, new folder, Joomla 2. All right, now there it is, and I'm going to grab the Joomla 336 we've got right there. Drag it up, if I can grab it here, come on, too much garbage in this folder, to the Joomla 2 folder, right mouse click, try it again, right mouse click, okay, it didn't like that, so let's try that again, and extract, put it right there. Probably should have called this Joomla 2, to be honest with you. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cancel this. So, not always the wisest of ideas, but I'm going to get rid of that. You know what, it really and truly shouldn't matter. Throw a bunch of stuff in here to make it easier to move stuff around. So all right, so now I should be able to take that. I'm just going to drop it in here and tell it to extract. Right? Maybe I should rename it Joomla 2, but I'm not. I'm just going to extract it right into here. All right, and while that's happening, so I've created a new folder. All right, I unpacked it into the folder, and now I should be able to go to localhost Joomla 2 and hopefully follow all the steps for the Joomla installation. Again, I'm pretty much mirroring the stuff that's in chapter 2 of the book. Okay? So let's see. Looks like it must all be in there. Okay, let's double check. It says 30 seconds remaining, so all right, so everything appears to be in there now. And again, it says that what I'm supposed to do is go to HTTP localhost, and this for me will be Joomla 2. Actually, I don't think I downloaded this the way I wanted to, but we'll make it work. Joomla 2. All right, there it is. So it'll be under Joomla 336. Alright, so now I'm going in and I'm going to do the configuration right now. Alright, so following the steps as we've seen them before, select language, English, select the site name, which will be the name of the site. I'm just going to call it Corba, enter the description, collectors of bad art. Alright, I'm going to set it, I'll just set it yes for set a site offline. I'll set it for online, that's fine. Keep it offline because we're not going to be hooked up to a regular server. The admin email will be mine, the username will be admin, the password will be admin, and then we'll go on to step 2. So, everything that we've seen before. Okay. So, English, site name, as we said, CORBA, the description, collectors of really bad art. Alright. Site offline. Set the site front end offline. I'll just leave the default, that's fine. Admin email, mine. Admin password, or username rather, admin. Admin password, admin, which is of course a terrible password, but that's fine. Confirm it. Alright, as far as I can tell, everything is okay. So we've done step 1. Jumping over to step 2. So we've done all of this stuff that you see right here has been done. Alright, jumping over to step 2. For the database type, select MySQLi. The host name will be localhost. Root is the username. Password is blank. Database name is the one we created, so ours will be Joomla 2. We'll use the table prefix. We'll back up from former. I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm just going to leave it alone and then click next. So I'm going to do these right now. Alright, so I'm coming over here to step 2, MySQLi, localhost, root, no password. The database name is Joomla 2. The prefix is GP9RO underscore, fine. Any existing backup tables from former. I'm just going to leave the default. So if I lose what I had before, then I've lost it. I'm not really worried about it that much one way or the other. Alright, worst case, if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. Alright, overview. Choose installing the sample data or not. Alright, after checking, choose install. When it finishes, just need to click the button, remove installation folder, and then we should be set. Okay, that should be everything. So, now I have to click back to the book to see, because I'm just trying to follow the steps that are in the book. So let's see what we have or have not done. Alright, so what you need to install Joomla, how to get it up and running, what's in the box, what to do if you get stuck. So, there's the technical requirements under http://www.joomla.org/technical-requirements.html. Alright, what to do if you don't have hosting space? This is what we're doing. We're using XAMPP. I'm not going to talk about FTP software or more than one browser or upgrading from previous versions. Alright, so we're just installing it in 4 steps. So I'm up to page 22 here. We downloaded the files from joomla.org. We placed the files on the server. We created the database and we installed Joomla. So we went through this. Step 1, we downloaded Joomla. Again, ours was 3.3.6. We did the full package rather than an upgrade. It was in a zip file. We went out to htdocs and unzipped it into the folder that has the same name as our database. So we did all that. It says it can take 10 minutes or more. I'd say it was closer to half that. We created the database, so I went in there and did that. And then we went through the steps. Again, English, site name was Corba, description was collectors of really bad art. The site offline, I kept the default. I think it was yes, but I don't even remember now. The admin email, jscott@blackhawk.edu. The username was admin, the password was admin, and then I confirmed it. Click next, which got us to the second folder. in there. So there's the descriptions of all those if you need to see those. In step 2, we were here. I used MySQLi, localhost, root, left the password blank. The database name was Joomla2. We had a prefix, which was like G9PRO or something like that, underscore. And I kept the default here for the database process. And again, if you look here on page 31, they give a description of all the things that I just went over with you. It says if all goes well, you're taken to the finalization screen, which is where we are right now. Alright, so I'm on page 33. And it says here, although it's an impressively long screen, you'll have only one or two choices to make. It says you can choose from several. For example, you can choose the blog sample data. In this case, they want you to select Learn Joomla English GB sample data. So, Learn English GB sample data. There we've got it. All right. Under the email configuration, back to here, it says select yes. If you want Joomla to send you any updates, when you select yes, you'll be presented with an extra option where to send passwords via the email too. For security reasons, it's recommended not to send passwords via email. All right, email configuration, yes. Send it to jscott@Blackhawk. Include the passwords. We can say no. That's fine. We get a chance to review everything here. So, Corba, collectors of really bad art, site offline, no. Admin email, jscott@blackhawk.edu. The admin username is admin. The password was admin. The database type was MySQLi. The host name was localhost. The username was root. There was no password. The database name is Joomla2. And our table prefix is GP9RO. For the old database process, I chose backup, which was the default. Here's the recommended settings. All right, notice the only two that are minor different are for output buffering and for display errors. We'll just leave all the defaults that are there. That should be fine. All right. So we want to click on the next button, which, as it says, it should start the installation process, and in a few minutes you'll be given this screen right here. That's the last screen, so let's look and see if that happens. So it's creating all of the stuff into our database for us. Again, when it gets done, we should see this. Congratulations, it's been installed. And then we should be presented with this last screen. As they say, it's a good idea now. There's only one thing to do. You should delete the folder named installation. Okay? And when we bring it up, hopefully it's going to look at least somewhat like this. And we should be able to get into the back end to make sure that that works. As always, if you get stuck, as it says, you can go out to the Joomla site. And that'll be it. So let me double check and make sure that indeed, again, I get the screen that's shown right here. Congratulations, Joomla is now finished. I'm going to remove the installation folder as they recommend. It's been successfully removed. All right. So I've got everything that's in here. So now I should be able to come in here and do http://localhost/Joomla2/ and that'll bring us here. All right. And there we are. That's exactly where we should be right now. Okay. And I also can go here. And I also should be able to go to here and go to Administrator, which will give me the, there we go, Admin and Admin. Okay, and there I am in, and I'm in as the administrator. So I can go into Admin, and I can go run my site, and you can see what's up right here. And as far as I can tell, at least, that's the same thing that's showing right there. Should be just about identical, if not identical. All right, I had no problems, and I also was able to get into the back end, which looked pretty much like this. All right. Again, Again, Appendix A had more in there about site security. We already went through that in a different lecture, so I'm not going to go through that again. We didn't get stuck, so we don't have any problems. All right, so what I will do when I come in here tomorrow is I'm going to go over Chapter 3. First steps, getting to know Joomla. And as we jump back to the beginning of the book, I'm going to keep doing this. There's our first steps. All right. So we'll talk about why you should build sites the Joomla way. We'll get into the front end and the back end. We'll explore the front end. Okay. And again, one of the things I'm going to attempt to do in this series of lectures is to make sure that I keep the site looking basically in every chapter pretty much the same way that the author has his site looking. All right, so we'll do this 39 to 66, a little bit longer chapter than the one today, but I'll be going through that tomorrow. Till then.